EU still don't respect us. Robert Jenrick slams Brussels as Brexit talks reach gridlock. Brexit negotiators are still struggling to come to an agreement before the December 31st deadline, a gridlock Robert Jenrick blames on the EU's inability to respect the UK as a sovereign nation. Speaking to Sky News, the Housing Secretary said there were no news to report on the progress made by negotiations in Brussels on a Brexit trade deal. But Mr. Jenrick was quick to remind viewers the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, will try to get the best deal for the nation until the very last minute on December 31st. He blamed Brussels for its inability to accept Britain as an independent sovereign nation. He said, "I'm still reasonably optimistic, but there's no news to report to you this morning. There's still the same serious areas of disagreement whether that's on fisheries or a level playing field. We're working through those issues, our negotiations will keep going." The Prime Minister has been very clear that HE's going to negotiate until the very end, which is the 31st of December, because that's the right thing. But at the moment, there isn't sufficient progress. It isn't a deal that the Prime Minister feels he can sign us up to because it doesn't yet respect us in full as a sovereign independent nation. Asked whether there was a link between Emmanuel Macron's action to shut the border with France and the Brexit negotiations, Mr. Jenrick said, "I hope not. The Brexit trade deal between the UK and the European Union is possible on Wednesday after progress in talks on fishing rights," ITV's political editor said, hours after tweeting that there was no chance of an accord before Christmas. A UK source now says agreement on a UK-EU trade deal is again possible tomorrow, political editor Robert Peston said in a tweet just before midnight on Tuesday. Presumably because, says a separate source, there was movement late tonight on access to the 6 to 12 mile offshore zone ocean fishing and the sanctions regime after the interim period of moving towards new quotas, he added. The European Union is making a final push to strike a Brexit trade deal with Britain, although there are still deep rifts over fishing rights, Michel Barnier, the bloc's chief negotiator, said on Tuesday. Earlier on Tuesday, Peston tweeted there was no chance of a Brexit trade deal being agreed before Christmas, but one could still be reached in time for the British Parliament to ratify it before December 31st. Britain will complete its departure from the EU on December 31st when its current free trade arrangements expire. The two sides have been struggling for months to define a new relationship covering everything from trade to transport and energy.